Yes, hello. We got this low resolution image from a customer that is using Graphic Tracer, and we just thought we could use this to show how to work with low resolution images. We start by clicking Process to see how it would turn out, and we realized that we need to click the Increase Resolution button to get it looking a little bit better. Then we click the black color swatch and increase the value for black to make the black appear more clearly, but you can see that the white text is disappearing at the same time. So we select 12 as a pretty good compromise of the setting there. Then we need to use the bitmap brush tool to fill in the gaps so that we can trace the image correctly, and so that we also can use the font identification tool to find out which font it is. And when we have filled in these gaps, make sure that you connect all of the characters that should be connected, or all the parts of the characters. And then we will move on to the white text, and then change the bitmap brush to the white and fill out the missing parts here also. Okay, and let's see here. When we have filled out all the missing parts, and also remember to fill out the serifs so that they are extended the way the font looks, otherwise font identification won't be possible. So, and there is also some slim thin lines missing at the star at the top. So you can press spacebar anytime you want just to see the original bitmap image, and then use the bitmap brush tool to paint on top of that. And we'll just add the final parts here. Like that. Okay, now you can see that the logo is looking fairly good, but still very low resolution. We click Vectorize to turn it into vector graphics. So now you can see the contours of the vector graphics here, and we'll start using the font identification tool, clicking Identify Font and Replace. And this is a straight line text, so we click Next. And just check that the letters are correct here. Need to correct a few of them, and then we click Next to actually do the font identification. As you can see, in this case we found a font that is similar, but it's not a perfect match. So we scroll down the list and see if any other matches, but since there are none, we do the try stretching option and do a new search, and you can see that we found the correct font here. Scroll down the list until we find a green one, which means that we own it and can use it for replacement, and we click Replace. So now that text is perfect. Fixing the next text is even easier since we know which font it is now. Just click Identify Font and Replace. Then correct any letters that are wrong. And click Last Search. Scroll down to the same font. Select it and click Replace. Then we'll use the Replace with Rectangle to get the striping done, and use the node editing tool to fix the frame around the sterling text. So you can use shortcut keys, which I'm doing here. H for horizontal line, V for vertical line, and then Control click the last node in a line. We'll select all of the nodes between, and then I can make all of them into one horizontal line. Then I will turn that into one horizontal line. Then I will turn that into a corner, double click a curve to turn it into a line. And then I'll fix the rest of the frame the same way, and we have the star left to fix here now. So these should be small triangles. So I will just turn that those into lines by double clicking them, and then extend these nodes into a corner, but that was way too far down, so I'm gonna move the node up a little bit like that, and fix the rest of that triangle here. Need to move that back a little bit like that, and then select two nodes and press P for pointed corner. Now I will control click that object. It's grouped with outer frame, but if you control click an object you can select within a group, and then I will make a copy of it by dragging it and right clicking on the mouse, and then it will create a copy of that object that I moved instead of moving the original object. And then just placing them on top of the other triangles here, and I will do that for all 4 directions here, using the arrow keys to nudge the triangles into position. If you press shift when you nudge, you will get half the distance, and control and nudge will be double the distance as the settings for the nudge tool or the nudge keys. Okay, everything looks good. Now I will control click the original objects here and just click delete to remove them. And then I will use my node editing tool to fix the surrounding contour around the star here. Double clicking to turn into line. Select a row of nodes by clicking one and then control clicking the other, and turn them into a line by pressing L on the keyboard. And I'll do the same thing with the second half here of the star's contour. And I'm gonna move that out a little bit and move that one in. So I think that looks fairly good, and I think the logo is almost ready. We need to combine the new copied objects by selecting the objects and pressing Ctrl L.